back to how to eat vegetables. Actually, I should say how to eat whole grains today and how to eat whole food plant-based, because that's pretty much what I'm talking about here. Anyways, today I wanted to bring you in on a wonderful bread recipe. Okay, I have to tell you at first, this is not my recipe. This is a recipe that I got from on YouTube, and her name is Christine Salas, S-A-L-U-S, and I'll have some more information about her at the end of this video. But she came up with this, or maybe she found it from someone else, I don't know. But this is a wonderful, wonderful bread recipe. I want to show you what the bread looks like. So this is what it's going to look like. Right now I have some of my homemade almond butter, and I also put some frozen raspberries on it, and I have been having this sit for a little bit, so that's why it looks this way. Anyways, so I wanted to tell you what the bread looks like, but I'm going to make this bread I'm going to show you how to make the bread first. And then I want to show you what I've done to it. I make cookies. Anyways, I'm always trying to find a way to make foods, the foods that we like chocolate chip cookies, but make it in a healthier way, right? So I'm going to show you how I make the bread. Then I'm going to bring in some other ingredients, make the cookies, and then I'll show you what the cookies look like afterwards. Okay, so Christine Salas's recipe actually uses the oven, but I do not want to be in the kitchen all day long, so I use my crock pot, right? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take 1.5 cups of raw buckwheat groats, and you let them soak for about, I soak them probably about 6 to 8 hours. So I soak them at night before I go to bed, and then when I wake up they're ready. Then you take 1/4 cup of chia seeds and 1 cup of water, and you put that in a bowl. Let the chia seeds kind of get their gel action going for about 1/2 hour. You're not going to drain that. This you're going to drain. So you're going to drain and rinse the buckwheat groats and put it into a food processor. Do not drain the chia seeds. You put them in just the way that they are. You're going to add 1 teaspoon, look at my teaspoon, it needs some help, doesn't it? But it's my favorite. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That's it. So come on over here and look and see what this is going to look like. I want you to see what the chia seeds look like and see how they're kind of like jelly. See? They're kind of gel-like. That's what we want it to look like. So I'm going to turn this on and kind of blend it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done blending. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm back. I just, why listen to the noise, right? So I took all these ingredients for the bread, and now I'm going to make it into my cookies. So I'm going to take all this, and you can see how thick it is. This is the thickness that we want. Now at this point, if you wanted to make it bread, you could take some parchment paper, and you can put it in a kind of a loaf pan, and then put it in your oven and bake it for about 1 hour. It rises a little bit, but it's not going to be like what you're used to in I don't want to say real bread, but wheat bread, where it's it rises very high. It doesn't rise that high, but it's a very nice texture, and it's become my family's favorite. So the next thing I'm going to do is, again, I want to make this a kind of a cookie, right? So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to add some bananas. Okay, I'm back. So I thought instead of you watching me cut the bananas, I did it without you watching. So I got 2 bananas in here, and I cut them into quarters. I don't know, I just took my knife and put it all over the place. Then I'm going to take the honey, and I probably have right here about 4 ounces, but I don't know if I'm going to need to use all that because I'm going to add chocolate chips, and that's going to be sweet enough in it. So I'm going to take about half of that, so about 1/4 cup. You decide how sweet you want it. All right, there we go. Just kind of fold that in there, and I'm going to take my chocolate chips. I want to have a chocolate chip in almost every bite, because remember, these are going to be cookies. All right, and then the one thing that I absolutely love, as you see, if you watch on any other videos that I make, I love to have big chunks of walnuts, big chunks of nuts. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that. There you go. You could leave the nuts out, obviously, right? And I noticed that I think I want a little bit more chocolate chips. I'm not sure. Let me see. I'll see how it comes out on the pan. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Now, at this point, you could probably take some parchment paper and you can put it onto your parchment paper in a tablespoon to a fourth of a cup dollops and put them in the oven. Who wants to be in the kitchen when it's going to be hot outside and have a hot oven going on? I don't want to be, so I'm going to use my dehydrator and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like in 1 second. Okay, so I told you that I wasn't going to use the oven, so I'm going to use my Excalibur sheets, and I'm going to take a dollop or kind of just a tablespoon of this and just kind of place it onto the tray. Now what I want is I want to have a chocolate chip, because you notice I didn't put very much sweetener in here. So what I want is I want to have a chocolate chip and a walnut in almost every bite. Okay, this chocolate chips, yeehaw, right? But I'm just going to make it just like that. So I might end up adding more chocolate chips because I can see some of them don't have chocolate chips. But anyways, you don't need to see the whole process there. But what I'm going to show you afterwards what it looks like. I'm going to show you the crunch, I'm going to show you the chewiness, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. I wanted to show you what it looked like, the cookie looked like afterwards. So this is my cookie. This is what the cookie looks like. Remember, it has bananas in it, it has the buckwheat groats, it has chia seeds and a little bit of honey and some chocolate chips. So this is what it looks like. It has a crunch to it, but it also has that creaminess to it, that kind of a chewy kind of cookie-like. So I probably could leave them in the dehydrator longer and then it'd be like a crisp chocolate chip cookie. But this is the kind of way I like it. I like it to where it has like kind of a moistness to it. So I put it into a container and then I save it. It's breakfast time, so I'm not going to eat a cookie for breakfast. But I put it in a container like this and put it in the refrigerator, and they stay moist and chewy. And so now it's summertime, and so I get to like chew this nice cold cookie. Yes, it's a cookie. It's not health food, so it's not like have a cookie, you know, every other minute. This is a alternative to a different type of sweet that would have the hydrogenated fat and, you know, the flour and all that kind of stuff in it. So there it is. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy.